J&J Jewelers, 6160 Southwest State Road 200 in the Jasmine Plaza.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Tuesday morning. This is the second to the last Tuesday of 2015. We're almost done with the year. Hard to believe, huh?
I know. I think it's absolutely amazing.
So I always equate any accomplishments to this analogy or this metaphor. If I wanted to walk from here in Florida all the way out to Los Angeles, California, and the key word there is walk. It would take one step at a time. I mean, that's a given, right? That's a given. And I wouldn't make it there if I ever decided to stop taking steps. And that's my metaphor for everything that I want to accomplish, whether it's losing weight so if you want to lose weight, you can start, you can take the first day and you can eat perfectly, but if you don't do it again the second day, then it's not going to happen. You're not going to get to California. And so the same thing is true for quitting smoking. I smoked cigars, as you know, Robin, for a long time, and I think I haven't smoked a cigar. I know I haven't smoked one since I quit, but I think it's been 8 years. And where are the steps in that? Well, the steps in that was, I guess you would say, in avoiding doing a step, because the step to smoke is to grab the cigar and light it.
Right.
So I just avoided that one on a daily basis, and eventually I can now brag that it's been 8 years or something.
Yep, you did it cold turkey.
Sherry Brantley is a life coach, and she's on the phone. She's a dynamic leader and trainer. She specializes in goal setting, goal attaining, and she's come up with a very, very memorable acronym, STEPP, with 2 P's, STEPP, so you're going to take one step at a time. And her acronym stands for Start to Exercise Personal Power, how to create positive change in your life. And that's also the title of her book, STEPP. Good morning, Sherry Brantley. What an honor it is to speak to you. Good morning.
Good morning there.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm in the beautiful state of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Arizona. How's the weather there today?
Oh, you know what? The weather here is great every day, but I do have to say I hail from Michigan, so I have been familiar with the rougher weather in my life.
Okay. Yeah, and if I was to walk from Florida to California, I would walk right through your state.
You would, yeah.
And in fact, I've driven through your state a few times, and it's a beautiful place. So tell me about STEPP. Does this come from personal experience on your own?
It does. STEPP stands for Start to Exercise Personal Power, and I used to teach parenting classes at Michigan State University, and this is a result of some of those experiences that I've had with the parents, but also with my own personal experience of beginning to tap into my own spiritual power.
Okay, and what do you mean by spiritual power? What is that?
That's a power that we all have inherently within us, but not everyone is aware of it. And those that are aware of it, we don't all use it in the same amount. So we all have it, but we just don't realize it, or we're not utilizing it to its full potential. So it's there for us to begin to do our purpose in life.
So do you think people will abuse the ability to use their spiritual power? Instead of going to the positive, they'll go to the negative realm?
The dark side.
Those that do, that they're not actually tapping into their personal power. Personal power is actually a positive impact that you have on yourself, your family, and your community. So if people are using tactics like bullying or fear or any of those things, they're actually tapping into something else that's not the spiritual personal power that I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's take an easy one. Well, it's not easy to do, but it's easy to talk about, and that's losing weight. And the New Year is coming up. It's a common resolution people make. And so let's say in order to lose weight, a person decides to have 3 square meals a day. Okay, let's just say. And it equals to 2,000 calories, just to make an easy discussion. What do you tell that person? Let's say he goes to a party and there's a lot of dip, and you know he's going to lose track of the number. And what does that person do? Just not eat anything? Just not enjoy the party?
No, there are quite a few ways that they can be able to prepare themselves prior to going to the party. One of the things that I look at with them if I'm working on a client one-on-one is, first of all, find out the foods that they do like that don't have a lot of high calorie intake. So that's one of the things that we would look at. I would ask them to, prepare themselves to eat some of that prior to going to the event. And then, of course, with today's health-conscious people, a lot of people are choosing the healthier route to begin with. So there's usually, like vegetarian sections and low-calorie sections that are available for people. But, of course, we're talking about the holidays, so that may not always be the case. But what we would do is map out a personalized plan for that person, an eating plan, of course, that they would be able to utilize when they do go out.
Do sometimes people...
But there are definite ways.
Do sometimes people go to extremes because if they know a wedding's coming up or something, they'll go on binges. They'll just diet, then they'll get thin for the event, and then they'll just go back to their old habits. How do you keep them from doing that?
What I do with them is we actually develop a personalized plan that talks about what their overall goal is, and then we break that vision for themselves down into bite-sized chews. And it's kind of funny I'm saying bite-sized when we're talking about weight.
Yeah, right.
People are actually focusing and tracking their success on a weekly basis. So I say the scale is really not your friend, but it's also not your enemy. But you don't want to become obsessed with everything that you're doing on a daily basis. Just kind of be aware of the choices that you're making and what choices you're looking to make to meet your goals.
Wow, I'm looking at your website. You're a pretty lady, and it looks like you've helped a lot of people. You've got a number of different books that cover a lot of different topics. So who is your support? How do you get through the tough times? Do you have a husband or something?
No, actually, the way I get through them is by not having a husband.
Oh.
No, I've been divorced now for 26 years, so it's been quite a while. But I do have a support system of like-minded people that I meet with on a regular basis, sometimes weekly, and one group that I do with monthly. And what we do is we talk about our goals and we see where we're at with them, and then that gives us an opportunity to also tweak the path that we're on. So I do have a like-minded group of people that I work with on a regular basis for myself as well.
And that support system is really key because sometimes those closest to us, if we are losing weight or something, they'll not really be cheerleaders for us. They'll say, oh, you can do this just this one time and it won't matter.
And that's really great that you said that, Robin, because when it comes to eating, that's exactly what people do. If I said I were an alcoholic, people wouldn't say, oh, just have this one drink.
Right.
But when you say I'm watching my calories, they go, well, this won't help, or you can get on the treadmill longer. And you just really have to be able to draw the strength from yourself to be able to say, I can compromise on this, and as a result of that, I will do, X, Y, Z, to counter that. But yeah, you're correct. It's really difficult when people are always pushing food at you all the time, and we get that everywhere we go, at work, at events. It's crazy.
It is, and it was a much easier. It wasn't easy, but it was much easier to quit cigars for me than it would be to. Cutting back on food is harder than quitting something completely because you can't quit eating.
Right, exactly. That's the whole thing. The other addictions that we have, we can do without, and we wind up actually being healthier as a result of doing without them. But you're right. When it comes to eating, it's you can't just say no.
What about something that is kind of hard to define? Like, let's say my New Year's resolution is, in 2016, I just want to be happier. How do you take steps to that? That seems like a harder. You can't really visualize what happy looks like.
Well, actually you can, Larry, and let me explain that. There's a saying that says, to be happy, find out what you like doing and do more of it, and find out what you don't like doing and do less of it.
Oh, really? Well, what if she doesn't like doing it and I like doing it?
There you go.
Well, we're looking for individual happiness at this point. And of course, there'll be some compromising.
Do you also address the deeper emotional issues? Because sometimes people won't have healthy lifestyles because they've got something personal that's going on with them, and they try to compensate by overindulging, and they won't address the real reason that they're doing this.
I do. Now, I do have an assessment that clients can take, so it gives me an idea of where they're at, but more importantly, it gives them an idea to know exactly where they're at in life, because a lot of times we're not honest with ourselves. So there's a self-assessment that people are able to take, and that gives you an idea of what the issues are and what their concerns are, and that way we're able to tap into that. Now, I'm a certified life coach, but I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. So if those issues are brought up within a client, they are referred to those places, because sometimes it takes more than just one person or one area for you to be able to focus on in order to receive the type of help that you need. But it's certainly available out there.
Well, if you ever have wanted a life coach, I think it sounds like the book STEPP might be a great way to at least have a life coach with you in spirit, because the book has a lot of great information from what I see. So we'll take a little break. We'll come right back. Sherry Brantley is on the phone out in Arizona.
Yes.
It's one of our sister states, because Arizona is another sunshine state, right? Just like Florida?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It's beautiful.
So we'll take a little break, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. Clouds will limit sunshine this Tuesday. A warm, humid day with an afternoon shower in spots, high 81 to 85. Partly cloudy and warm Tuesday night with areas of fog late into tomorrow morning. The overnight low 68 to 72. Later Wednesday, clouds and some sunshine, a warm high 83 to 87. Thursday, Christmas Eve, partial sunshine, warm and humid high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
Hi, I'm Seth with AA Lock, Dock, and Security. Have you ever thought about the locks or security on your house or business? Have you ever wondered why the keys to your new car cost so much? Well, at AA Lock, Dock, and Security, we can help with securing your valuables. We can even replace those expensive transponder keys. We can give you the knowledge that no one else will. Call AA Lock, Dock, and Security at 867-1965. That's 867-1965.
All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. Nice looking Tuesday morning. We're talking about setting goals. We're talking about achieving those goals. And we're talking to a person who knows how to help us get there. She is Sherry Brantley. She's the author of the book called STEPP, Start to Exercise Personal Power, How to Create Positive Change in Your Life. She's got a website, and it's got a lot of information on it, and including other books that she has written. The website is her name, SherryBrantley.com, and she's on the phone. So let's continue with this. Sherry, one of the things I think people might be saying is, I want to make more money in 2016. How do you do that? I mean, how do you set that goal? I mean, that's a hard goal to set, because even the smartest people in the world don't seem to be able to achieve exactly what they set their mind on achieving in the money area.
And that's a good question. So I wanted to go over that with you. And a lot of times, and I heard you say that's a hard goal, and that's one of the myths about being able to achieve your goals. We're told that they're challenging, there's going to be a hard road, it may be not possible for you. And so those are some of the myths that I talk about in my STEPP book.
Oh,
but
really?
They really aren't, yes, but they really aren't as difficult as one may think, and especially with the technology that we have put in today. Many people are able to begin to pursue their goals, and it would cost a lot less than they ever imagined. There are online courses that are free. There are some resources that they will be able to tap into where they don't have to pay. So what I do is I first start with the client to see how they want to increase their income, because you have to know that path in order to know the resources for to refer them to. So once we determine what it is they would like to do, we're able to develop a personalized roadmap for them to be able to reach those goals in a step-by-step format. So it's not as difficult as a lot of people would think, and it's not as costly as a lot of people would think.
What if something unforeseen comes up and sometimes the goal achieving has to be put on hold? How does a person get back on track when they have taken care of whatever needs to be taken care of without feeling defeated?
The way that I have them do that, and again, I talk about a map, which is my action plan that I develop with people personally, and we actually build that in so that they can sometimes expect the unexpected.
Oh.
So we have a way for them to be able to, yes, I mean, it's really exciting and it's fun. As you can tell, I love talking about this stuff, but there are ways that we can build into their process where they're able to have a roadmap where if things were to come up, they have a plan already in place to deal with that, so that they're able to still maintain and keep their eye on the prize. So we look at all the things that may come up, especially if you're talking about family units or things that may occur on the job, and we actually have some steps in place for them should, X, Y, Z occur. But, of course, there are some times when people are totally caught off guard, but at that point we're able to tweak their time frame so that they don't feel disillusioned or discouraged because they haven't met their initial ones. So there are all kinds of ways to begin to pursue your goals and your dreams and have ways in place so that you can accomplish them.
One of the things that we're all possible victims of, that's probably a bad word, but excuses. We make excuses. We say, I can't do it because I have to take care of my dog. I did that all the time. I'm sorry, I can't go because I got to take care of my dog. We don't need excuses. I'm sorry, I can't. I won't be able to lose the weight. I don't know, but we do that to ourselves, right? Or we don't have enough money. That's another one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Groceries are expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
And the top three excuses for not reaching goals are time, money, and fear. And with the time one, I say that that's a two-edged sword, because the younger generation thinks, oh, I've got plenty of time, I can pursue all this stuff later in life. And then they unfortunately look up and it's 15, 20 years later. And then for the older generation, they think, oh, I'm already set in my ways as my time has passed. And they fail to realize that there are numerous people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s that started entirely different careers and were able to be successful at it. So that excuse, I work with people as to why they have that reason, and then we target and make some adjustments to that kind of thinking. And then with the money fear, people, of course, are saying, I don't have the resources or I don't have the funding. But honestly, if people were to take an honest, broad look at their situation, they'll find that they have lots of disposable income that they're simply disposing of. So we take a look at redirecting that.
Every year on the cover of Fortune magazine, there's somebody on the cover who was rags last year and is riches this year. There's always a rags to riches story, and I always think, wow, a year ago, that guy was living in a very small mobile home, and now he's got a beautiful mansion. What did he do?
Exactly.
But every year there's somebody like that, it seems like, and even in the hardest of times, during the Great Recession or the Great Depression, there were people who seemed to be able to overcome what everybody else was going through. It's just an amazing thing to observe, and I guess that's my fuel to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
And that's exactly right, Larry. But you know what? You said something that was very profound. You said, what did they do? And that's it exactly. You have to get into action and do something in order for you to be able to experience something differently.
That's
and a
good
lot of
point.
times you hear people, saying, I remember I was with this gentleman one time, and a Ferrari had gone down the street, and he pointed at the car and said, I would love to drive that. And I said, no, you wouldn't. And he said, what do you mean I wouldn't? I said, you're not even employed. So you have to have some kind of... I mean, we would all love to do things, right? But you have to be working toward that. And if that's really your goal, you'll be working towards it and doing something to dedicate yourself with the discipline and commitment that's needed for you to get to that point. But just seeing something and said, I would love to have that, well, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but that's a pipe dream sometimes if you don't follow through.
You're a great coach.
Right, exactly.
You've got energy in your voice that I can hear in your voice that you're a great coach. So, how do you work with people? Do they come to you at your office? Do you go to their homes? How does a coach work, like in your line of work?
I do have some coaching that I do one-on-one in person, so that always works really well because I'm able to actually, see these facial expressions that a person has, and, things of that nature, their body language, all of that. But I also have coaches that come through me through my website, and I can coach also via Skype. So we have different ways of doing that. And then for some people who prefer to just do an online type coaching, I also have that available. So it's so many different ways. I mean, the technology that we have, you can get assistance in almost any way that you would like to do.
Can you give us a story? And does the book have stories of people who you've helped, maybe a success story that you can share with us? So I'm just so curious about what you do and how you've helped people accomplish those things.
Sure, Larry. I'll give you a story that happened with a family that I was working with, and this is when I was doing a parenting at Michigan State University. So I had this woman come to me, and she was in my parenting classes. Our parenting classes were once a week, and those classes were designed to assist parents to have effective, positive communication skills within their family unit so that they can overall have better relationships.
Okay.
Well, this woman came up to me, and she said, Sherry, I just need to talk to you. She said, I have a problem, and I'm not sure how to handle it. And I said, well, go ahead. Let me know what it is. And she had a son that was 9 years old, and this son loved to go bowling, and he belonged to a bowling team. So they would go once a week and do that. Well, the father would also accompany them. She was married, so it would be the mom, the dad, and the boy going. And the father was an avid sports person. And, he was one that was very competitive. And he would always yell, belittle, and humiliate his son because his son was throwing gutter balls, and he wasn't bowling really well. His average wasn't up. Yeah. And so she said, and he just does that. And she said, it takes my son's self-confidence way down, and then he doesn't do well, and each week it repeats itself.
Yeah.
And so I said, and sometimes as people are talking to me, information seems to come to me as to how to help them. And so when she was talking to me, I said, I think I may have a solution for you, but you have to, be open-minded to hearing it and trying it out. And I said, the next week, I said, when do you go? And she said, we go Wednesday nights. I said, this Wednesday, when your husband puts on his coat, I want you to say, oh, no, it's just going to be me and Brian. And Brian is a made-up name, okay? Mm-hmm. It's just going to be me and Brian this week. And you just stay home, you watch the game or something, and I order you a pizza, and we're going to go. And she said, oh, no, he'll never go for that. I said, just tell him this is just 1 week. He'll survive. You'll be okay. And just let me know how that happened, what happened.
Uh-huh.
Well, that following Tuesday, this gentleman comes into my room, my office, and he says, I'm looking for Miss Brantley. And I said, who's looking for? Why are you looking for her? He said, because she told my wife something about my family, and I just want to speak to her about that. And I said, well, I'm Miss Brantley. How can I help you?
Oh, no.
And he said, yeah. He said, you told my wife to not have me go, bowling with them this week. And he said, and I didn't appreciate that. And I wanted to come in here and meet you and see what the deal was.
Oh, man.
And I said, well, what happened? And he said, he almost started to cry. He said, Miss Brantley, you're not going to believe what happened. He said, my son won a trophy that night.
Oh.
His team did. And he had the highest score. And he said the son did not even want to let him know he had won the trophy because he had done it without his father being there.
Oh, my.
So wow.
Yeah.
So your idea worked, but did it sink into him? Did it maybe make him?
It did. Let me tell you what he said. He said, the reason why I'm here, Miss Brantley, is because I want to ask if I can also come to your parenting class. And I said, you're kidding. And he said, Miss Brantley, I treated my son the way my father did me in baseball. He said he berated me.
That's what I wondered.
Me, and I said, yeah, he said, I always said to myself, when I get older and I become a dad, I'll never do that. He said, and I looked up and I was my dad. He said, and I can't believe that what you told my wife worked. And he said, I just have one question for you. How did you know it would? And see, that's the thing. You don't know if it would work or anything.
Oh, wow.
But I knew that if that son was able to bowl without being humiliated and, made to feel guilty about what he was doing and what his performance was, he would ultimately bowl better. I mean,
that's a great story.
That's just the way that works.
Well, he's a smart man. I mean, ultimately, if you look at how it worked out, that could have backfired on you too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
in a big way, yeah.
But ultimately, it helped him. I mean, it really was something that you did that really was a positive impact on all three people: the mother, the father, and the son. So can you imagine what that family unit would be after that, with the father being able to go bowling out, not humiliating and berating his son, absolutely,
and developing a close, intimate relationship with him? That's why I love doing this stuff.
Sherry, that is beautiful. I'm so glad I asked you to tell a success story, because that one really hit home.
It did. I
appreciate it. Thank you.
Sherry Brantley, we're out of time. We got 10 seconds. Thank you so much for being on the air. Everybody go to the website. We'll put this video up on YouTube and Facebook so you can review it again. SherryBrantley.com. Thank you, Sherry. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you both.
All right. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Donald Trump still leading GOP presidential hopefuls in major polls, but competitor Carly Fiorina says she would make the better choice.
Well, look, I'm running for president because I think Hillary Clinton cannot be our president. I can beat Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump cannot.
Speaking to Fox News Channel, the latest Quinnipiac national poll showing Trump ahead.
With 28% support. Ted Cruz is a close second with 24%, followed by Marco Rubio and Ben Carson. This as Trump wants Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton to apologize for suggesting ISIS is using him as a recruitment tool.
There is no video at all, and that's been now confirmed.
Clinton suggested terrorists are circulating videos of Trump talking about Muslims.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. And Ford is recalling more than 300,000 older, large cars to fix a problem with headlights that can go dark and cause a crash. Fox News, we report. You decide.
Paying off credit cards can get expensive, and it can be an endless hassle to get a loan at a bank, which is why there is now another way to get the money you need at a competitive fixed interest rate without the hassles, fees, and risks. It's called Avant. Your loan through Avant can be approved in minutes, and money can be in your account in as little as $1 billion.